One moment can change anything and everything. People's lives, the quality of life is determined by the strength of the experiences. One moment is enough to transform a person's life completely. Just think about how that happens in both good ways and bad ways. So here we want to take a dip in the flow. We want to experience a moment of synchronization where all the little engines of your body and mind, your brain, your heart, your digestion, and so forth get in sync, and you have that hum, that coherence effect, like two engines in hum. There's a threshold for how well you can experience this. It's the master's skill. It's the ultimate personal resource. You can't do better than this in life. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, William.
How are you?
Oh, so far so good. How are you?
Same old thing. We were talking about the 7 steps, I guess, the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the cottage. This is different than the office. Maybe we will do a live outside by the pond or something one of these days. I know you're all used to seeing me in the office. All right. You always have to have 3 questions ready. So just pick 3 questions out of the air.
Okay. Is it possible to stop my mind from thinking constantly?
Absolutely. Now, a lot of meditation people will tell you no, and they're wrong. So I remember when I was doing the 4th of July, we were talking about this earlier. I was there, and the mayor's there, and the mayor's asking everybody to kind of follow my lead. And Stephen Futrall said to me, because I'm always going to do meditation no matter what I'm doing, but he said, I was with all the masters in India, and you can't stop thinking. Thinking continues. And I was like, gosh, everybody says that, but all the scriptures that I know, that doesn't say that. So I compiled a document. I wish I had my assistant online here that could put it up. It's called No Thought, or Geniuses Don't Think, Thinking Happens. And it's dozens of pages of every master you can think of from every tradition you can think of. Christianity, take no thought for tomorrow, for every day has enough troubles of its own. And it just goes again and again and again. Buddha said, the enlightened person has no thoughts, thinking about no thing. And it just goes on and on and on. The state of no thought is the state of meditation. So I compiled this list. When you feel peace of mind, that peace of mind saturates discursive thought. Now, if you want to keep on being present to all reality, of course, there's tons of thoughts in the air and in your head, you know. But the more you add silence to thought, listening to silence, it's a mental antiseptic, and it's required for mental healing, for psychological healing. Most of the time you think, I can't back off, I can't listen to silence, I can't do nothing because then I'll get nothing done and I need to have stuff to figure out. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you want to become a dynamo of genius thought, don't think about anything. I mean, am I thinking about what I'm speaking? You know. So when you're in the zone, there's no thought. And to access that first transcendentally, the orgasm does it, the great bite of food does it, the beautiful scene in nature does it. It's called samadhi in meditation traditions. So the head is a stuck waterfall, and everything starts in the head. The Catholic puts ashes there to absolve sins, and the Hindu wipes the bad karma away, and the Tibetan puts the stupa there. It goes on and on and on. In Taoism, the Kunlun Mountains, which is up here, get rain on them, calms it down. So the body digests the energy and information of the brain. To find your mind away from just a thinking head, talking head, cortex, find your body. To find your body, you've got to sort through your biological biography. It means you have to be transparent. You can't be, oh, I'm prepared. Now I'm on the go today. I'm on the move. You're just going to get knocked out. Happens every day. That's why we sleep. Instead, you want to find your body, find the earth. Touch down right here where you are. Break ground, grow an extensive root structure. Remember, I have said to you many, many times, you will forget. You have no memory of how this works. And yet, every time we do a session, it works, basically, right? But when you begin, everything's externalized. You cannot remember. It's not possible. You will not remember. You won't. You won't remember. As soon as you get activated and animated and go about the day, you're going to forget that you were being healed 30 minutes ago. That these thoughts and these ideas are the top of human intelligence. A genius is not a wise person. A sage or a saint is a wise person. So if you do grounding and you do great contact with authentic masters of enlightenment, not me, I'm a bridge teacher. I can show you those, but I'm not that. But you need the bridge teacher and you need the authentic enlightened master. That's the only thing that'll calm your mind. Nothing else will calm your mind, generally speaking. There'll only be flashes. But in the long run, nothing will calm your mind other than great contact, because this part of your head there has to go down into your body. But you're taught from everybody and everywhere and everything to defend this from receiving anything from anyone. Keep this bulb on and make your way. Go get something. Go do something. It's exactly opposite of the master. The master is receptive. And in that receptivity, they have more shine and more action and more dynamism and more genius thought than anybody. They get more done in less time with better results than anybody. But your entire mind and everything, as soon as you leave here, it's all programmed only to keep everyone out, to facilitate your own agenda. But you can't win that way. So that's why most people, as they grow older, they lose their childhood spark. Because you got to be a conduit of life, not a subject-object strategist. So in doing some of these things, like I mentioned, and getting the touch for the cortex, because it all starts in the cortex, you can then enter the brainstem. You can enter the inner world. You can enter the body. You can touch your, doesn't matter the ethnicity, the gender, the culture, the heritage, the financial value, the sex appeal. None of that matters. What matters is, do you have the map and where are you going? Because if you're not training yourself and you're not evolving, then you're not going anywhere in life. You'll probably devolve as you get older rather than evolve. Evolve means that your head becomes transparent and your body becomes transparent. So you're a conduit of life. I mean, where's the miracle that you want to have happen so that you can take a dip in the flow, like dipping in magic waters? Where is that going to come from? It comes from the miracle streams. This place, these people, these circumstances, this moment in time, these futures, these pasts, these present factors, realities. Once you have enough knowledge bits like I'm giving you here, these knowledge bits can help you govern your life so that you build a better you. You're not always on go. You're building better hardware so that you can download better software. But what you do is you try to make the software better all the time, all the externals. And that's the only way that you think you're going to have happiness and success and wealth and health and all that. Wrong. Build better hardware. Then you can download better software. You can't download your brain because you can't even manage what's in your brain as it is, because you don't want to face yourself. Your biological biography is where your karmas are. If you're transparent and if you have a need, if you're confused just by aging, you can say, oh gosh, I have a need. Then whatever's in the future today, that becomes consumed by this. This is not consumed by that. That's a joke. So your personal time, your spiritual time or something like that, that is what's dominant. No investment, no return. You don't give time and energy to this, you won't have any returns. Feeling peace of mind without thinking thoughts. You say 10 breaths. For the next 10 breaths, I'm going to count at the end of the exhale. I'm not going to think about anything. If you took a drug, if you had the orgasm, a great bite of food, if you landed in Tahiti or somewhere else, you're going to have those breaths where there's no thought. All right, question 2.
Okay. So I'll read a lot of spiritual books by sages and saints and stuff like that. That basically our reality is an illusion or a dream, right? These things. So how do you keep that in mind, keep the nature of this existence in mind, but also give it the respect and utilize it best way? I'm not sure if that's the best way to put it, but I imagine you get what I'm saying.
Initially, you get the principle, like I said to Kiahi. The dream world is the real world. This ain't the real world. But you can't make any sense of that, and that's dissociative and nuts. But I do that on purpose for the question to happen, because everybody knows there's something real about that statement. But in the other sense, in the physical world, everybody knows that New Age people, yoga, they're nuts. They don't have any ground. They don't have any, basically. There's no strength. You can run on top of them. They're not running anything in this world. They're people that you brush aside. They're dissociative. They're grandiose, religious people. So how do you play by the rules of the illusion you're bound by? So in the matrix, which is this world that you said, not real and all that, it's quite real when you're in it. So it only becomes unreal when you get back to the place of observing the ones and zeros. But right now it's real. So don't be dissociative about it being unreal. But once you have enough of a symbiotic relationship between the transcendental world and the world of form, the sleep world and dream world and our daily life, you can see that the subtle influences of your dream world or your inner world is actually creating your entire reality. Your attitudes, your moods, your behaviors, of course, is influencing how you interface with others, and that's creating material circumstances. To say that as an absolute reality is a bit tough because, we're just ordinary people. The subconscious mind processes hundreds of thousand times faster than the conscious mind. The fastest race car driver, the best fighter, the greatest genius, the Einstein, they look like they have all the time in the world because they're referencing the dream world. In the movie Limitless, the guy's talking to Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro says, "You sure you want to go to war with me?" And he says, "I don't think you understand. I see everything." And he says, in 20 seconds, the car over there is going to rear end the other car because he's texting and doesn't know. In 20 seconds, like bang, And so this is the type of quantum computing that goes on for a person who's in touch with their inner world while they're in the waking world. You begin to have these limitless associations. In that movie, he saw this lady's bag, and on the corner of the bag, there's this little note of a law book. And anything he ever saw in your life is here. It's in your mind. If you went to a library and you looked up and you saw peripherally, whether you read it actually or not, 100 books, in your mind is the title of those 100 books. But you can't access it. The calmer you are, the quicker your processing speed and the more you can access things. So in that movie where he saw the corner of the book, he extrapolated all this knowledge from the lady, the way the lady looked and her gestures, and he just started saying things that, blew her mind in a minute. That's a master person. There's a ton of associations going on in the inner world when you're very, very calm. To get to that super calm place, you need to meditate. You need to experience doing what the Olympian does before they deliver. And in doing that, as time goes on, you'll begin to understand that daddy, mommy, brother, sister, Wife, children, circumstances, animals. It's all within you. The guru of the Beatles, I was the head of security for the guru of the Beatles. He said to me one time, stop pretending there's an outside world and an inside world. Take down the wall. So right now you're scared. So all there is, there's an outside world. And then there's the secret inside world, the real you. If you take down the wall and you become authentic and transparent, you'll have access to more information in your biological biography. You'll be able to heal yourself and actualize your life better. And you'll be able to realize that it really is a dream world. But that's a bit advanced to talk about. But it certainly is. The dream world is certainly the real world, and the physical world of manifestation certainly is not real world. I mean, in science, E equals MC squared, energy, matter, configurations. Credit card, you put the credit card in 2 seconds, the configuration changes exactly precisely to the cent of what you spent or what money went in. We have energetic configurations. Energetic information goes across the cell of the body. It programs the RNA, it programs the DNA, according to the strength of experience. If you don't have access to those energetic codes, you can't change them. That's why having access to the dream world is so important, because that's where the beliefs and the genetics and 1,000 years ago who your grandfather was, and so forth and so forth. It's all here. Surrendering to this information and energy is the most important task of your life, because if you do, I mean, a multiple personality disorder person, according to PubMed, world's most respected medical journal, their eye color and eye prescription can change. So the person has 10 personalities, there's many cases, they got 10 kinds of glasses with different prescriptions. The ophthalmologist told me, when I asked them, is there anything to that change your eyes, heal your eyes thing? And I had already done it once. And he said, no. 2 weeks later, I healed my eyes again. And the ophthalmologist said, no, that's all pseudoscience. I did it. And that's the tip of the iceberg. The ability to go inside of your mind and change who you are. There's good things about your ethnicity, there's bad things about your ethnicity, so forth, so forth. You begin to become the string puller of yourself, and you're not so concerned with ethnicities and colors and genders anymore. You're more concerned kind of with what's going on inside you. So slow down, stop, reverse your search. There's one white light and many scenes. Don't get lost in the dream. Think that you're in the movie. Trace the one white light back through your heart. And find the producer, find the scriptwriter, and start to transform your insides to become more healed. That's how you get the life of your dreams. So that's 2. 3.
All right. Came up for answering 2 was, do we need to be protective of ourselves? You say take down the barrier between outer and inner. For me, I feel like I spent a lot of time trying to, I don't want that energy. I gotta preserve mine, or I gotta protect. And I put the wall up, right? Because you can't be taught, you keep yourself safe, and this and that. How do you go about it and remain safe?
Stop being a chicken shit. That's basically how that happens. I was in martial arts for a long time, and I own schools, and I've done coaching to a few MMA people over the years. One was what the heck was that guy's name? I don't remember. 20-some years ago, was a pretty tough MMA guy. Another one was a professional boxer. And then Ben. And then one day, and you said, well, you have to tell us thank you. I told you that you and Ben really taught me something. And that is that you're all so chicken shit, and so am I, that it's just crazy. I'm not going to teach you all the little secret stuff I know anymore, necessarily. Use some. But because you won't, I learned with Ben the one time, will not stop being scared, no matter what. I could demonstrate some really cool stuff. I could talk about enlightenment, whatever. Everything is a war, everything. And then it just clicked in my brain. I don't need to do that all the time. And that's what I've been doing all this time. I'm a chicken shit. Okay, here's how you protect yourself. Drop the defense mechanisms and be aware of everything that's present and let it in. And when something that comes in that's not appropriate, you automatically strike, like the wave to the wind. This preemptive subject-object protection thing, meaning I told Ben, why are you afraid of the fighter over there? I don't get that. Everything is over there. I would be afraid of the fighter touching my skin. And until that moment happens, I would be accepting every single thing that they are and do. I said to him, when you walk into the ring in the very beginning, before his first fights, when you're walking, don't be going around and looking around and everything. Keep your head down and keep on imagining, where can this person hurt me? So the reason that you're stuck in shock is because you're not willing to acknowledge that there's no such thing as negative energy. It's only my interpretations of a person's behavior. If there's a little child and they have this much negative energy or do this much wrong, are they evil? Or because you're this big, they're not evil. They're just somebody that's learning and you can guide them and transform their behavior and so forth. But if they're this big and you're that big, that's when you blow their stock and blow your stack and they're just wrong and bad and evil, have to be punished. Same thing with this world. You say this world is so bad and it's on the wrong track and doing so many things. There is an amoeba, there's a fish, there's a gorilla, there's a human. I think the universe knows exactly what it's doing with the evolution of the human race. And the people, in the absolute sense of it, have a pure life energy from the tree, through the rock, through the person. And that pure life energy, if you try to stop that by labeling them as bad and wrong, and you have to protect yourself, then you can't blend with that energy and utilize it yourself to then really protect yourself. So if you're constantly in a state of shock about protecting yourself, you can't protect yourself. I remember the movie Highlander. This Vietnam vet was super, super scary and everything. And he's got all these guns and everything. And then he's in the hospital and stuff happened. And he said, I can't protect myself. No, you're aging. You're exactly right. You can't protect yourself. I told the guy in Palestine the other day, you're going to die for sure. Don't worry. I am. Unless I could become immortal. I don't know if you could teach me. But besides that, I think I'm aging. I think your children are aging. Pretty sure. So that means they'll have gray hair if they get to live a long time and then they'll die? So if you are truly present to yourself and to the baby in the carriage, you have an air about you and you have a light about you and the baby's really protecting you and everything. And if one wrong person comes near that baby or one dog jumps, you will attack and destroy like nobody's business. You'll be the most vicious animal on the earth. So stop being afraid of that moment and trying to get out of the fact that that moment might come and you could even be destroyed yourself and maybe not make it. And just live your life on a daily basis and constantly be understanding where the person's coming from. I mean, it's really easy if you get a little healing to yourself. Everybody's so afraid, it's just crazy. So generally speaking, the world, the store, the driving is very, very easy to deal with if you're not dissociative to the world of conflict. Because the world of conflict exists and you can't always be, you can't always be invincible. But what happens if you accept the rules of the game as they are, then you become a different level of ferociousness, a different level of fighting than the average fight, a different level of fierceness than the average fighting that goes on in the world. It's different. Parental protection instinct. So what you have to do is to realize inside yourself, your own ground and include all people into that ground. And when somebody acts in a win-lose kind of a way, which if you're in fear and you're in shock all the time, then you're going to act in a win-lose kind of way. Then you must lose. So if that's the kind of life you want to live, have at it. I'm a bit busy. So if you're devoted to the win-win and doing the best you can, then if a predator challenges you or anyone in your life to a fight, you must not disappoint them. But you better be sure that you're functioning from the win-win. Because if you're just functioning from the win-lose all the time, which is the ordinary state of consciousness, then you must lose. The universe must beat you down with losses and diseases and problems, because that's the only way you're going to become receptive. So that's what's happening because of our aging, really. Just our aging is causing us to do that. So why not make it a little easier on yourself and do that now, instead of being forced into it by the projections of whatever is next in the day. Accept the projections as God trying to heal you, whether their appearance is evil or good, whatever their appearance is. God is love, love is everywhere, behind the scenes of environment, pronoia is functioning. If you don't believe that because she tricked you and he tricked you and they tricked you, the bridge teacher and the master is not going to trick you. So you better figure out who's telling the truth. Ordinary person, ordinary family, ordinary world, they can't do anything but be subject-object conflict. They're dim-witted. The world is dim-witted. And we are dim-witted in that aspect of ourselves. So if we, tell the truth that we do that, and then surrender ourselves, step 1, step 2, step 3. You find pronoia. You find that it's a big magical mystery tour that really, democracies and republics, and if you look at the world governments over the years, it's just a graph. It goes up and down as a graph. Good people, bad people. So why don't you get behind the scenes of environment and see the graph? See the evolution of fish to human. Then you won't be stuck in shock all the time. Then your ability to be a warrior skyrockets. But you're not doing that. That's the point of the spear. That's the 1%. The 99% is all the time kind of coalescing and surrendering and coming to the place of being surrendered to the other person. That's my secret sauce. After a while, I tell you all this good stuff and I tell everybody all the stings and everything, and then still everybody just throws me to the curb because you can't do anything but that. So then I go, okay, you're right. You're the teacher. Like somebody said to me, oh, Roma. I said, the only person you need to learn from is the person in front of you. She said, is that a hint? And I said, no, $20 million, 7 PhD, family. I was a monk in 3 traditions. I own martial arts schools. I wrote 14 books. People have healings in my life more than you could imagine. You name the kind of healing. Miracle stuff. You're right. I'm not worth it. Don't give me a chance. I mean, I can't argue with it, really. But, I do have those credits and background. So it's like, who are you going to let help you? Who? With what kind of background? Nobody lets anybody help. Because if you point at me and whoever's watching and say, oh, well, he's off this way and he's off that, what are you going to be wrong? If you call me an idiot or an ass or whatever, could you be wrong? I don't think so. I think you're right. So at that point of subject-object, prey, predator, I win, you lose kind of thing, to keep myself safe and going in the Tao and all that, I just surrender. I say, okay, you're right. And I suffer. Because you are right, or whoever that would objectify me. A spiritual person is going to be objectified by the world. But if you understand this Aikido-like, now we all know Aikido people can't fight, but Aikido-like conduition of things, and you put the output then into the MMA. But the thing that the MMA can learn from those ancient kind of things, which lost their fighting ability, generally speaking, is to blend with the energy. That's what gives you that magic kind of power stuff. To surrender to the other person as being inherently good, inherently divine. Then if they try to hit you, you can hit them better, easier. It's the same kind of way with driving a car or communicating with people. You can take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. And then if you have to set a boundary, you can be so precise that that's the end of them. They're out of the game. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. How many minutes we have?
4.
All right, let's cancel this out. Good to see you. I wish would have more time as you could express yourself more, but we'll do it next time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.